Greetings. Welcome to week 7. This week I need you to think about the international system differently. In the past, through our first 6 weeks, we have focused on the relationship between states in an anarchic international system. But now, as we move into Marxism and the dependency theory, I need you to think about the world in a different context. I need you to think about it in the relationship between haves, the wealthy states in the international system, and have-nots, the poorer states in the international system. So, in that context, we enter into the study of Marxism and dependency theory. Karl Marx left his mark on history in a tremendously profound way through a couple of works. The most obvious and the most famous is the Communist Manifesto. The second one is called Das Kapital, or Capital. And what he basically argues is that states are a myth in many ways, and that the real struggle that drives history is the struggle between classes. So when you take the ideas of Marx and you extrapolate them to the international system, what you have is a competition not between the United States and Germany, but between states like the United States and Germany and poor states like Sudan or Somalia or Yemen, to stay in the same geographical area. So what happens is that the wealthy states, in order to exploit and to continue their capitalist system functioning effectively, they must exploit the poorer states. And how do they do that? They infiltrate the poorer states with multinational corporations. They use international institutions like the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Trade Organization to further infiltrate and to bring the poorer states into a system created by the Western powers, the wealthy Western powers, and this allows those Western powers to dominate and to exploit the poorer powers. So the international system then isn't driven necessarily by powerful wealthy states battling with each other for increased influence, but really between the wealthy states and the poor states. So that's going to be the content focus, Marxism dependency theory, and then in chapter 16 we will take a look at the controversy over free trade. There are few parts of international relations that are more controversial than free trade, and whether it is a positive for the international community or whether it is a negative. So, first, Marxism and dependency theory, chapter 15, chapter 16, the controversy over free trade. Then we're going to take a look at China a little bit more deeply, and we're going to have 2 situation briefs. The first one is going to be a situation brief about China, and it's called China Peaceful Rise. And we hit on this a little bit last week, the idea that as China grows, will it be able to rise peacefully because of things like complex interdependence? Will it be able to rise peacefully in an international system that has been dominated by the United States for the last couple decades? That's a question that is on the mind of everybody who studies the international system. Then second, we're going to look at Taiwan and the relationship between China and Taiwan, the tension over the Taiwan Strait, and the role of the United States in that relationship, because no more relationship is more important for the international system than the relationship between the United States and China. And Taiwan is a possible sticking point. Remember, on Monday you're going to have your semester assessment, and then we will continue after that with South America and the 13 states within South America as we do our review of world geography. Have a good week. I look forward to seeing you online.